Hi, everybody. This is James Patrick and Florence Carmela,
Hi.
and we are here. We've got so much breaking news that it's very exciting for true crime. It's very sad for all the situations that we're dealing with, but it's definitely stuff we've been. It's
Yeah.
literally changing hourly, so it's amazing. You could catch us on. YouTube, and you could also check us out on Facebook and Twitter. So we are
We're
glad to join
everywhere.
you. Yeah. Oh, these. I'm telling you, I don't want to say the word. I don't cuss a whole lot, but boy, I'm telling you, some of these software programs little sketchy. But let's start it off, Florence.
Yeah.
Boy, you got some news, that's for sure.
What a morning. We literally woke up to the former Prince Andrew, now Prince Mount, not Prince, but Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was arrested. And he was arrested in England. And it looks like they're saying, was doing some not so nice things while he was in public office. And again, we all know about the Epstein files and everything that's going on with that. So it looks like he was taken in England. Even though his brother is the king, apparently that did not help him. I will say this though, he was released. So he is not being held currently, but this I believe is just the beginning. And again, a lot of people said this was coming. This wasn't a surprise to many. Again, I thought his brother being king, maybe nothing would happen. But a lot of people feel that this was deserved and this was basically just a matter of time.
Here's the law. What because of the Epstein files, UK never does anything straightforward. They made against humanity and all this other stuff. They made all against their society and all this stuff. But it was because of the Epstein files. He lost his prince title. He's living, I believe, on one of Prince Charles' houses. And what happened is under their law, you go in for about 12 to 24 hours. He did. He's already been released. So, but he is in big trouble. And there are even reports now out of the BBC and others that he may be charged for treason because they think that he had talked to Epstein about private files from and the one thing they don't deal with, if you lie or if you tell secrets in the royal house, you're toast. They do not like that. And so what's happening is that some are saying they're going to go after him for treason. Now, some have been saying, oh, he's going to get, unalived and death penalty and all that, and that's not true. Their punishment for it is life in prison without parole. So he's in a whole lot of big trouble. I think that what's going to happen is that you're seeing other countries. The former prime minister of Norway resigned. You had CEOs. I've got a list of them here. The Hyatt, I believe, Hyatt or Hilton, I can't remember the CEO. He's now stepped down. And again, we have to say this is for entertainment purposes
Yes,
only.
yes.
It's alleged. We're just having fun and giving our opinions here. So there's nothing going on. But here's some of the people. I'm going to go down the list. Florence and I were shocked. The top lawyer for Goldman Sachs, the CEO of Dubai's largest port, which is a huge deal, former president of Harvard, Trump, Clinton's, the CEO of Hyatt has resigned. Sarah Ferguson, which is very interesting, she called Epstein a legend. She was very close to Epstein, and she even teased in a couple emails that she would have loved to have married him. She had financial issues, and there's a lot of rumors that she may be involved deeper than people think. And and if you follow the royals about 15, 20 years ago, there was a push to get rid of them. And they couldn't have got any lower with the publicity. And they've tried to build up trust again, try to use William and
William and Kate,
yeah,
I think, are the
Kate's a
ones.
great woman,
Yeah,
battled
I love
cancer
her. I
and
love her.
just an amazing lady. And now you have Meghan Markle situation with Prince Harry. You have Sarah Ferguson, and now you got this.
It's reality TV at its
Oh,
finest.
it's just the UK royals are in just a heap of trouble. The only time that you really had a huge problem, something kind of like this, is during Jack the Ripper's time. I forget the guy's name, but Prince Albert Victor. He was the grandson of Queen Victoria. He had, I guess, he caught syphilis, and his brain was fried. And he was very violent. He would leave at night, he would leave the castle and they wouldn't even know where he was. He was actually behind the scenes. They never announced it, but behind the scenes, he was actually one of the suspects as being Jack the Ripper. Now, can you have imagined if that had ever gotten out with the royals? Oh my gosh. Now, he wasn't. Some are very defensive of it, saying he wasn't even there. Others said they don't know where he was. So but that's kind of the only thing you had that's semi like this. But a lot of pictures were released with Virginia Jeffrey, with him, with Prince the former prince. And what's really shocking is that the government, our government, has said they're no longer going to release any more files. They have released all that they've had to. Pam Bondi, I believe it was, said we can't release it also. If we called out everyone that was in it, certain industries and even our country would be kind of at stake because there's so many powerful people
they would
there.
Crumble.
Unbelievable. So if you were African American, I guess you went to Diddy. And if you're a billionaire, you went to
the island.
The island. I mean, come on. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. I don't care who you are. Leave little girls alone.
And boys. Leave children alone.
They're kids. It's pervy. All this stuff. And people defending, I belong to one party, so I'll defend this guy, and I belong to another, so I'll be... Stop. It's right or wrong, and it's wrong, and it's just, this stuff makes me sick. But the royals are in big trouble.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is going to be one of those things that they have to show their public, because they are public servants. You know, even though they're called king, queen, prince, princess, they do serve their public in England. So they do need to show them that they're not going for this. They're not happy about this. This is not acceptable for someone who works in public office in England.
I think this is going to be so, and if you know anything about the England press, they are brutal.
They're worse than us.
If you remember the history, I remember when Freddie Mercury was passing away and all the vile things they said, the weirdness they had with certain athletes. They just pull no punches. They love clickbait, and most of them report pretty good, but it's drama filled craziness until it comes to the royals. I was told when I was in England, I could say pretty much whatever I wanted, but never ever say anything negative about. They called her the Queen Mom, the Queen. Never say anything. They're very protective of the royals, but it's starting to crumble because you have no leadership now. Prince Charles has kind of got his issues. William had his little, supposed affair when they first started. He kind of saw his worst of his ways, how bad he was doing.
I think he's a good husband and dad now.
I think he's grown, hopefully.
I think he's grown up. I don't know about what happened before he was married. I know he had a lot of girlfriends, but I do feel that he's Diana's son. And I think he's going to take that monarchy into, something more modernized.
I hope, because he's also Charles' son.
But loyal. Yes, that is true. But I do believe he's still heartbroken over losing his mom, over what she went through, over what they put her through. Let's be honest.
I want to like him, but like I said, I just get weird vibes from him.
I love Kate, too.
Kate she's an angel. I mean, she's just, the way that she has been with her cancer, she went out of her way not to miss anything. She had charity events that she demanded that she go.
And
I
you could
mean,
tell she was uncomfortable
oh,
at times. She was holding her abdomen
she was walking,
very slowly,
slanted over. I mean, you could tell she was in pain, and
dedicated.
that's a good person. And I've seen photos of the daughter and the son, which are fun. The son's supposed to be a little mischiefy.
The little one, yeah.
Yeah, and there's been times where the older daughter, little girl, has straightened him out and straightened him.
She's
and
a second mom.
yeah, told him, slapped his hand, don't do that. So
very cute.
yeah, very cute kids. But boy, I'm telling you, America has seen better days.
But I tell you, waking up to this morning, I feel like this is the beginning. This is the start. Because, to do this to somebody who's such a public figure, even though he's no longer Prince, he is the king's brother.
Yeah.
So to me, this was a major statement. Let's say that.
And the UK has a long, long line of cheaters with the men. So it's very, like I said, I think if people knew all the things about them, they really don't want to know. The UK, there's a lot of things that there's some in the UK that don't really think they're needed anymore. There's some that say, we need to protect them. They're the basis and foundation of our country, blah, blah, blah. So it's very interesting. All my UK friends have a lot of different ways of viewing this. And what's really funny, it's not funny, but really strange. This is the tame story.
Yeah.
Now we get into the Guthrie insanity, and Twitter is blowing up, and it is crazy what's going on. Now, Florence, I'll give you the mic first, and I've got a couple updates from Mexico commenting on this, and it is bizarre.
Yeah, I will say this, and I've said it before on our lives. I've been following this story since day one. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to and watch a lot of true crime podcasts. Again, shout out to JLR Investigates and to Dolly Vision, because those are the two I am addicted to, and they're boots on the ground. They literally get on a plane and go to these places, and they do searches, and they do stakeouts, and they look for these people, and they wait to get interviews. They're very respectful, and they do it the right way. And I will say this, my heart still goes out to Savannah Guthrie and her family. I know her husband, because they have small children, had stayed back for a while with the kids, and now has flown to Arizona to be with the family. And, I'm sure she appreciates everything her husband's doing. But again, this story, TMZ's still getting ransom letters. I believe they've gotten 5. And again, Harvey Levin, who, we've been on the show several times, and we, have a lot of respect for them. We know that this cannot be easy to constantly be getting these letters and being literally thrusted into the forefront of this. And I know he says on his lives, on the TMZ lives, that they are working with the FBI. They are obviously letting them know everything that's going on. I believe the reward now is up to $300,000. And the one thing I had said to James, because I know he's going to talk about Mexico, is I wondered, and this is something I've been thinking about for a couple of days, if maybe the person who's really responsible for this is someone who's close by in the neighborhood, maybe has some connection with Nancy or the family. Are they the ones who are sort of directing the police and the FBI to another location like Mexico over the border? It wasn't anybody local or close to the family. And I know they did say that the family had nothing to do with this. I know that they said that they were cleared. But it doesn't mean that it couldn't have been an acquaintance or a friend of the family or somebody in the neighborhood, because I know they're looking and talking about a couple of people, different people. But again, is this whole thing about Mexico to just distract them from somebody who's maybe in the area and close by? And are the ransom notes real? Is this all connected, or is this just people trying to take advantage of a very sad, heartbreaking situation?
Well, I think one of the notes was found out to be false. I believe it was from California, and they actually had an arrest through it, but they let the person go. And I think that I just think I'm not going to tell people how to kidnap people, but if you kidnap someone, I hate talking about this stuff, but it, I've watched too many crime shows, and the first thing I would do is hide them. I don't know if any of you have watched the movie with Nicolas Cage called Guarding Tess. It was about the ex. She was a real pistol, but she was the ex-president's wife, and someone kidnapped her. It was family members and the driver, the limo driver, and they kidnapped her, and they put her underground, and they had no clue to where she was. It was like she vanished out of thin air. No one could find out. And the only way they found out is Nicolas Cage actually shot the foot of one of the guys and says, I'm going to keep shooting until you tell us where she is. And they did. They finally got her, but she was almost passed away. If I'm not getting videos, if I'm not getting updates, if I'm not getting proof of that she's around, I'm really worried. If you look at all the people, I believe there's 93,000 open missing person cases by the FBI. 93,000. I mean, that's just unbelievable how many people go missing. I go on Facebook, there's 100 people there. So I think I don't think these people were geniuses. I don't think, and this is another interesting thing, the FBI, everyone's saying we're going down to Mexico and we're doing our thing and all that. And, oh, thanks, Carol. Thumbs up. Thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's funny. I don't think they're that, genius. I think they have her hidden somewhere.
So do you think
this
she's
sheriff?
alive? Do you think she's alive?
I don't know, because you could hide someone and they're not alive. I hope she's alive. This sheriff's history, he's a buffoon. I'm going to let you tell the reality crap, but which is unbelievable. This sheriff was found during, real height of things. He was at the U of A, and if you know anything about Arizona, U of A is like religion there. That's probably the most popular, the University of Arizona basketball team. That's the pride and joy of Arizona. It's nothing else. So it's a huge deal over there. And he went to the basketball game when they were, doing press conferences and all that. Didn't want to miss it. He has a huge history of corruption about arresting and getting anybody that questions him. And that sounds familiar, but couple people were running against him that were in his cabinet, and he actually had them suspended. There were scandals where he'd find dirt on them. It's crazy. And this guy he said, we may find her in 10 days, 10 months, could be longer.
Years.
Yeah, he doesn't seem he's in a hurry. He's got a bad history. And then with all that's going on, Florence, they need a little PR.
Yeah, apparently they have a reality TV show, the police department. It's called Desert Law.
On A&E.
On A&E. And this is a real thing. The police department has their own reality TV show on A&E. Now, they're not filming or covering anything having to do with Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. But this was already happening and going on before this story hit. So again, the coincidence, I don't know if to call it a coincidence, but the fact that this police department is part of a reality TV series, it's unbelievable to me. My jaw dropped when that story first broke. I still can't believe it.
A&E is loving life right now. I think if I was the police department, I would have begged A&E not to let this run. This guy doesn't seem like he's allergic to attention. He likes it. He just sounds like a piece of work, and I don't think they could solve, a dog being missing. I don't think he could. He's
too busy going to games.
Yeah, he's going to games. He's in reality shows. He's speaking out against how everything's cool and that we may find her years from now. We don't really know. It may take a longer time. I mean, it's just his nonchalantness. If my relative was missing, he's the last guy I would pick. And then the FBI, with all the drama with them, they said, there's comments that now they're in Mexico and they're checking it out. So Mexico gets mad, and the Attorney General of Sonora in Mexico just had a press conference an hour or two ago and says, we've never even been contacted by America about this case. We don't know what they're talking about. So are you looking? Are you not looking?
See, now,
I'm just not getting it.
this is why I wonder, again, if this is just a distraction or to take someone in a different direction. Could even the FBI be doing that and saying, oh, yeah, we're looking in Mexico. Oh, yeah, we think we believe the ransom note that TMZ got where the guy said, I know who has her. I saw her last week. He said that on Wednesday. I saw her a week ago, and I know where she is and who has her. Now, what James just said is they came out and said, no, we're not cooperating because no one asked us to. So again, is this stuff being put out there just to distract or to make someone think they're looking in one direction when really they're looking in another? That's my question about this whole thing.
Did you guys ever watch a Three Stooges movie? This is what I think's going on. I don't think no one knows anything.
It's so sad.
I think they're lost. I think they're also hoping, and this is what's really scary for you and me, is remember when Legacy.com and Me23 and all these things came out, the first thing all of them said is, don't worry, your DNA, your evidence will never be released. It will never be to a police force. We are keeping that private. We're under oath. That is now the number 2 after DNA evidence. The number 2 place, the DNA database, the number 2 place police now go to the FBI. So remember when all these AI people and all these AI companies demand all this, wait till they start using our health information for jobs. If you have a sickness in your family, that's not going to be in our lifetime, but in the future, it's going to be. The 2 movies, Demolition Man and iRobot, I'm telling you, watch them. Because in the future, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. You already see with the AI glasses, you go around, it'll tell you who's who and what. Oh, it's crazy.
A lot of the podcasters that I watch, like I said, they're boots on the ground. They actually go to the area to really cover. And a lot of them, I notice, wear the glasses or they have their drones. There's just so much.
But that's another thing. But what I'm saying is that they're going to use Legacy, and I think they're really relying on that because they have. What Legacy does is they put it in the DNA database and they look for anybody. And if they do get it in a certain family, they then can break it down and into who it is. And they've caught a lot of people like that. The DNA database, not necessarily if you don't have any crimes, you don't really have anything to have your DNA in the FBI or wherever, you're not going to obviously get caught. But Legacy is just for everyday people. So,
and the reason they're doing that is because I guess there was DNA that they found, and neither one of it, they weren't able to get a hit in CODIS is what they were saying. So now this is the next step.
Yeah, and that's what we told people. This was going to be kind of the key, the Legacy. I still don't get, is there a glove syndicate, organized crime? Why is there 16 gloves there?
Again, was that done on purpose?
Yeah.
Was that a distraction? Was that a way of saying, you know what, let's go buy a bunch of gloves and throw them out there so this way it kind of confuses people and they're wasting their time. They're wasting more time looking in a direction that is not going to help them find the woman one way or the other. And again, this is an 84-year-old woman, and it's now, in the 3rd week? I've never seen anything like this.
It's unbelievable. We wanted to give a shout out to Amy Trask, who we had on last week, and was a great live, and it gave us a lot of happy comments from people. A lot of love out there. And also, thank you. Go on our website, the Forum Celebrity Podcast. Give our videos a shot. We did an amazing video with Keith Slomsowicz, and it took me about a week to learn his name.
Yes.
But he is an amazing guest. He was the ex-boyfriend of Anna Nicole, and he tells
Nicole Brown.
Yeah, Nicole Brown, Anna Nicole. Nicole Brown, and no, I won't use Simpson. Nicole Brown, and they talk about how OJ stalked them and never before known things he talked to us about, and it just shocked us what he was. We weren't.
What a book.
Yeah, we weren't planning on that, but his book Stalked, It Could Have Been Me is out on Amazon or wherever books are sold, but check that out. But thank you all.
Yes.
Like and always subscribe. We always love and we love the DMs too. You guys are really kind. But let's get back to this stuff. With Guthrie, I don't think that they're really doing it. I think literally they don't know what's going on. They don't know. I don't think the police know. Kash Patel's with his girlfriend. I don't think he knows. I don't think the FBI is doing. Yeah, I just think it's crazy, and they're just hoping this legacy thing will turn on. I can't believe someone could kidnap someone. There was a Ring video released this morning by people that have small accounts, so I don't know how reliable it was, but it did look like the suspect from another house. He walked through another house, and he was wearing that same backpack. So I don't know if that's legit. I just saw it on Twitter. I'm going to check it out, and we'll have to see. But I think people are saying, do you think? And remember also, just because they cleared the family members doesn't mean they're innocent. It means they don't want to get sued, to be honest with you. Because if they keep telling them or keep investigating them and keep saying they're suspects and they didn't do anything, they could sue them. So
nobody knows. That's the thing. I don't even think they know. Or again, the police aren't going to give us everything. The FBI is definitely not going to tell us anything. So they could know a lot of information, and I'm sure they do, but they're not telling us. What surprised me the most is when now a lot of the narrative is it's burglary gone wrong. Okay, let's say it was a burglary and it was random. Why would you take her? That's the thing I don't understand.
Yeah.
I would believe that if, unfortunately something had happened to her at the house and they found her at the house. As sad as that would be, the burglary thing would make more sense. But my thing is, an 84-year-old woman, why would you take her if all you wanted were her jewels or her money, or she has a famous daughter and you're thinking, well, she must have money in the house. Why would you take her? That's the only thing that makes no sense to me. That's why I don't think it was a burglary gone wrong.
Now, be careful, because we all know everything said on the internet is true.
No.
And there's so many crazy conspiracies. And some of these influencers know the power they have. They have, one has 500,000 followers, and he now says that Savannah Guthrie kidnapped her mom. So they're doing this for certain political reasons or something else. So Savannah's crying every day of doing videos about her mom, but she did it. So, and people are like, yeah, I could see that. Come on. The other one was that, and the Epstein file fallout is just monstrous. What's happening out there is that her husband, Savannah's husband, is the head of a Glover Park group, and the Glover Park group was mentioned in passing in the Epstein files, and people are making huge thing about it. Oh, there he is. He was a part of. All it was that Epstein called the company for advice. He never spoke to Savannah's. He spoke to one person asking them about their services. It was a quick phone call. It was no big deal. And he never spoke to them again and never did business with them. Savannah's husband never even talked to him. So that all that conspiracy nonsense, people are making stuff up.
Trying to find a reason for things, and it's just crazy. There's just so many different conspiracies or just different angles and different ways people are looking at this. And I get it, because we all want to know what happened to this poor woman. But I don't think everything is what people are saying. There's just so many stories going around.
It's ridiculous. And the problem is, like a lot of podcasts, and I'll give you a little behind the scenes and call out, I'm not going to call out names, but we're told all the time, you're too honest. Stop do clickbait, do lies once in a while, no, we're not going to be, we may not get the following that they get. We may not get all the things that they get, but what we're going to do is we're going to be honest, and we're going to tell you, because we're just like you. We want to know the truth. these are celebrities. We're into celebrities, all that stuff, and we want to know the truth. And it's interesting. True crime is very interesting. Why do people do what they do? What were they thinking? How did they do it? How could we get justice? How could we get them off the street? All that stuff comes to play. But when people are out there clickbaiting you, or they're saying, oh my God, there's one right now that I know dozens of people that have turned the guy in. He says famous NFL player dies, and he always puts a picture of Tom Brady. Always. And he gets, 500,000 views, 800, 1 million views. Of course, Tom Brady's still alive, and you'll tell the sites, hey, this guy's doing it, but they like the views too. So, nothing's ever done, and it's real frustrating. But we're going to do it the right way. We're going to grow organically. We've done really well, and because of you guys, and you trust us, and I'm telling you, we may be wrong sometimes, but we do our research. We do check things out. And Jen was heartbroken she couldn't be here
today.
Yeah, of all days. But she's going to be here next week. And we're also going to do a special thing, how to open a wine glass and what to do in a restaurant, because I was a waiter at a Silverado Country Club, and boy, I'm telling you, the crazy things people did with the cork and with all this stuff, and how you should do it, and what to do. It's crazy. I'll tell you some of the things that I've seen done to insane. But going back to the Guthries, I really don't have a clue what's going on. I mean, it looked like the family for sure. Looked like the brother-in-law had done something, and that,
like bandmates.
Yeah,
had friends in a band,
and they looked like the guy.
That was the thing. They were trying to make out, the eyes, the eyebrows, and then there's a thing with the glove. There's a ring, a certain type of ring, and you could see it through the glove. And now there was someone who had a similar ring that was asking questions and wanting to know what was going on. And sometimes they say, and I'm not saying this person had anything to do with it, but sometimes when someone has committed this type of crime, they'll go back to the family or to the area where people are looking, and they'll ask questions. And even Koberger, they said, went back to where the 4 students that he unalived them, he even went back to the area
in Idaho.
So again, these are all speculations because nobody knows for sure, and everyone's trying to figure it out. It's hard. We have the videos, we have the photos. I'm sure the police and the FBI have even more that they're not showing us. But I really thought once that video was released and people got a look at the person and their body type, their measurements per se, that it would have been easier to figure out who it was. But
yeah, and the thing that I don't get is I watch a lot. I don't know. I go to Scary and to some of the accounts that will have it's bone chilling. They show ring bell videos, real ring bell videos, and people will just come in the middle, like 3 a.m, and they'll stare in and they'll say, "I want you," or something like that. Just crazy stuff. But every one of them has tons of Ring videos around. Ring is very popular. People have other. How in the world is there not a ton of videos from all these houses? They're wealthy people. They all have alarm systems. They all have some sort of cameras. And I know some have said a good point. It's an older community, fairly wealthy, people. They don't like to be bothered. They don't want to be involved. They also, it's kind of like don't ask, don't tell me. I don't want to be involved. And you wonder if there still is some video out there that people are holding on to, because I've never seen a case where something happened and you don't see just mounds of video. Videos everywhere. And I just saw a bank robbery on YouTube where someone did, and they had, it was in right by the highway, but there was literally cameras everywhere. They had like 6 or 7 angles of the guy and his license. I don't understand why there's just not huge amounts of video. The one thing someone brought up too is their driveways in Arizona are very long. And that could be also, but still you would see someone walking. Look at what happened to the Reiners. in their very huge tragedy for them. God rest their souls. There was video all over the place of their son, everywhere, all these angles, what he was wearing, what he was carrying, how they arrested him at the gas station. I mean, it was everywhere. How in the world could you be in a wealthy area and there's no camera? There's no video. I don't get it. Because these guys, you know, you have wealth, you are going to protect it. And I just don't get why there's not happening.
Well, I will say this, though. With what they have, the video that they do have, what they've released, and again, what they probably have and aren't showing us, again, I'm kind of surprised that nobody's recognized the person. And again, they may, and I heard that once the video was released, they received like hundreds of thousands of people calling in with tips. I mean, it was overwhelming, the amount of tips after the photos and videos were released. So again, people did react, and it did cause people to say, you know what, I think I know who that is. The only thing is, everyone was hoping that at this point they would have made an arrest. They would have found out who the person was. And again, and I don't know if you answered the question, but this thing in Mexico, do you think that that's real?
I
or
don't.
Do you think it's a distraction, or what do you think?
I don't think it's anything. I think it's them. Look, you know,
I think the person writing the letters, is that all made up, you think?
I don't know. I think some of it is, because if you remember, the Zodiac was obsessed with letters.
Yes.
And years later, when I was in respiratory school, Arthur Lee Allen, I think it was, who was the guy, he was at Napa State Hospital, and I did clinical there. Never talked to the guy, saw him, but it was bizarre that here's the guy that they think's the Zodiac, and he's right there. I'm like, oh my gosh. I think he did eventually assault someone, but scary guy. You know, just got that look, that Ted Bundy look. But you wonder, because you get all these stories and all these things, and they still can't figure it out sometimes. And you have to deal with one thing. Ken Narlow was a friend of our family's, and he was the main investigator in Napa for the Zodiac. And he said the problem is you have to have cohesiveness with the FBI, the local police, and anybody that's involved with it. I don't see any cohesiveness.
They're not on the same page.
No.
I don't feel that way, that they
So
are.
one could say, oh, they're in Mexico, and I think there is. The other one's getting makeup for his reality show, and then they don't even know if they're, it's just crazy. And I don't think they're on the right page. So answering your question, I think they're grasping at straws. I think they're reading the internet half the time. And I just think that they don't know what is going on.
So do you think they're just trying to look at everything and trying to go with whatever they think it could be, as opposed to what they know?
Yeah, they have tons of leads. They're trying to follow them all. Remember, I don't know how bad the cuts were in the FBI, but a lot of government, how could I say, sections were. They lost employees, so you don't know if there was cuts there. You don't know if these people are competent. So
not enough eyes, maybe.
Yeah. So it's just unbelievable. I love police. We've had police for friends, but I've never seen the amount of insanity from police departments, the corruption, just all the stuff that I've never seen. When we grew up, our cops were our friends.
Yeah,
we had a lot of friends that were cops. And
I would love to know in the comment section, for anyone watching this who has an opinion, what do you think? Like, what do you think happened? Do you think the whole Mexico thing is just to send people in a different direction because maybe they were getting too close? Or do you think that that's a real possibility, that they took this 84-year-old woman to another country? Because, again, TMZ's getting letters saying, well, we saw her, we know where she is, we know who took her. It's going to be an international thing, meaning it's going to be out of the country. So I'm just curious if you're watching and you're following the story, what your opinion is, because I am stumped.
I think that, and they did. I saw a story, USA Today, I believe, in TMZ. The lady that they thought was her, they did check out in Mexico, and it wasn't her. So, because people swore it was her, they did find her, checked her out, and she's not. She wasn't the same person. So, I don't know. It's just I just think they're as lost as we are. To be honest with you, I think they do know some certain things. But and DNA takes so long. Some people will say, well, what if they don't have any cells or anything? And with the new DNA testing, you could even have just oil or partial parts of DNA to go in it, and they could figure it out. The new systems are amazing. So I just think that I think she's still in America, but she could be in Mexico. I don't know. I think this is one of the most bizarre cases I've heard. You know, the Patty Hearst case before most of our times in the 70s. That was a crazy one too, with the big Hearst empire, and then here she is holding up a automatic weapon, robbing a bank. So I mean, it's just crazy. So I think that what in this situation, they're not going to give a lot of information. They're not going to divulge things. Look at when they had the last weekend when they had so much stuff going on. And they kept saying we'll do a press conference. Then they said no, we're not going to do a press conference. We're going to release a statement. Then they didn't release anything. Saturday they didn't release any. Sunday, and then they said okay, next week, and they released it on Tuesday. So, the United States right now is a hot mess, and I just think that we can't really trust anything anymore, especially when it comes to law enforcement and the government. It's just insane. Doesn't have to do with politics. It's just a mess. And I think the sheriff's attitude, and I agree with a lot of you, his flippant attitude bothers me so much. He's acting like, could you take years? Years?
That really just took the wind out of everyone's sail. Because again, I watch a lot of podcasters, and I've been following this story from the beginning. And everybody was just, I mean, a lot of people like Nancy Grace, a lot of people, a lot of the Ashley Banfield, a lot of the, popular, well-known people covering this story, they were even like, what? Like, are you serious? It just seemed to really, really upset people. And it is upsetting because what you're saying basically is you have no idea. And chances are we won't find her. And I can't imagine how Savannah Guthrie and her family feels hearing that. Because again, this is someone's mother. This is an 84-year-old grandma. And I still can't believe that all this is happening. It just seems like the craziest story.
He acts like, why are you guys, chill out. Let's relax here. Let's give us some time.
Yeah, he's very I mean, yeah, it's okay.
He's got that. I hate that mentality so many have. Well, if it didn't happen to me, not a big deal. It didn't happen to me. So.
And he's acting like something like this happens all the time. And, it's going to take time. We understand. I can't remember a story like this.
Now, some of you have asked, there was a person that unalived, it was a crazy night that night of the SWAT thing. There was a person that unalived themselves in the street right near the house that the SWAT went to. And we were actually listening to it on scanner. I had the sheriff's scanner and the police scanner, and they had helicopters and all this.
It was crazy.
We thought it was the brother-in-law or someone else affiliated it. And then all of a sudden, these influencer podcasts started releasing that information. It was him. They've cordoned off the area. They've confirmed it's him. It was being said on Twitter.
That night was crazy because every podcaster who's covering this was following that. There was a raid was going on. They were detaining people. They took a mother and son, and then there was the other guy, which I believe was another son, and they went to get him where he was. I believe he was picking up food for dinner. And then there was a guy in a car, and that was a stop, some type of speed stop or something. I mean, it was just the craziest, most dramatic night for anything. Like, I can't remember the last time I was on the edge of my seat watching something.
And Dolly, if you know anything, he's a famous Dolly Vision. He's a famous, very Southern, folksy guy.
Yes. So
he saw the guy on the ground
yeah.
unalived. And if you're not, I've been in the medical field, so I've seen a lot of that, shootings and all that stuff. So, but if you've never seen it, it's very traumatic. And
I felt so bad.
he
for
said,
him.
oh my God.
Wow,
He said that.
Wow.
He
Oh
said
my
that for
God.
like 10 minutes.
Because, like he said, and I've never seen that before, but he's in the medical field, so James has seen a lot. And if you're not used to seeing that, and it's so shocking because he obviously didn't know that.
Yeah,
was
the
gonna
poor
happen.
guy. And then
So,
you're thinking, okay, this is solved then? Everyone
Everyone
literally
thought it was
thought it's solved. They've got to have
they're gonna
an
arrest
announcement.
people.
Yeah, this is solved. The brother's gone. And then then they wouldn't release any information for 3 days. They didn't release anything. They had a little tidbit, I believe, on Sunday, but that was it. So you're like, well, what happened? Who was this guy? And I guess it was a guy. It was unrelated. It was just in a chase, and he unalived himself. And it obviously wasn't the brother-in-law.
And they let go of everyone that
Yeah.
they detained, the mother and son, just everyone involved. There's like 4 people involved.
Now,
and
some-
they're all
Now,
let go.
some Florence brought up the fact when we were talking before is some SWAT people said that's not out of the ordinary when you do a raid. You do check everyone. You really want to get
Safety.
evidence.
You want
yeah,
safety,
you
too.
want safety, but you kind of are there to get evidence. Computers, DNA, any type of clothing, things like that. Any type of
They did it with
scraps
Diddy,
of paper.
too.
Oh yeah.
Diddy, same type of thing.
Yeah, Diddy, I think they enjoyed it because they destroyed that place. Boy, they ripped that place to shreds. But I think what's going to end up happening is this is going to go on for a while. And I just think they don't know what's going on. I don't feel this is going to end well. I hope it does because, I don't know much about Savannah Guthrie. She seems like an okay lady. I'm sure they're just like everybody else and they're okay, except they got a lot of money.
She said she may not return to the Today
Yeah.
Show. There's been a lot of talk that she wants to just stop working and not go back. I don't know if that's true, but that's how traumatized she is, that she just doesn't think that she could ever go back to her old life. So, I mean, I pray for them. I feel so badly. Again, I have a mom, an older mom who's got health, medical issues. We all have moms and just grandmas, and just can't imagine.
Imagine someone that you really adore, or even a pet that you adore, or a family member you adore, and they just literally vanish, and you never, ever, ever know what happened. That's torture. So that's why I wish more people were, if you're a podcaster and you're mad at me, I don't care. Be responsible. These are lives. This isn't just fun entertainment. Woohoo, we get to talk about this. No, we do it because we're interested in it and we want justice and we want these people found. We don't do it because, oh my God, we're going to get so many views. Woohoo. No, that's not what it's about. It's about educating us, educating you, learning about this, having us think about it. You look at the divers in YouTube, they have solved, they're divers that go looking for missing people. There's one channel that has found over 35 people.
Thank God for them.
35. Some of these cases are 40 or 50 years old. And when they find the body and they give closure to the families, you want to talk about relief. You want to talk about gratefulness. And half the time, the police hate them because it makes them look bad. How come you check this out? It's an open case for 30 years. You didn't find it. Here's some YouTuber, that checked it out for a month and he found the person. So there's a lot of, nonsense.
I tell you, a lot of people, not to interrupt you, were talking this week where they were kind of, I guess the mainstream media was putting down the podcasters and putting down the YouTubers, the boots on the ground, the people, like I said, they get a plane ticket and they fly to the state and they're there trying to help, trying to, give more attention to the story, going on searches, looking for people, interviewing people, trying to find out what's going on. And, thank God that there were people who came out to say, you know what? Good on the podcasters, because they're actually doing it in real time. They're going live and showing you what's happening in the moment. And I give it to those guys. And I know that a lot of other podcasters, the more famous ones, the bigger ones, were coming to their aid and saying, you know what? these guys are doing a great job. And thankfully that they're doing this, because eventually the media goes away. Eventually people start, because again, like today was another huge story, what happened with Prince Andrew in England. So maybe this story will keep getting knocked down, and before you know it, it's not going to be the top story. And people do move on with their lives and other stories come up. So the fact that they're keeping this alive in the third week really is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, what I love is this influencer culture, that Jack, whatever is it, I forget his name, that is just annoying, where people will go and bump into people on purpose in stores and just bother people or be annoying or weird or just for views. And that kind of influencer is starting to die off. Corporations aren't into it anymore. And what I like a lot of is that there are so many kind stations and so many kind podcasters who are now reaching out to the poor, now reaching out to people that are homeless, now reaching out to puppies that are being abandoned. And if you're one of those, I pray all the bad karma in the world on you if you're abandoning a dog. You got some issues.
So sad.
Whoever's out there that's doing it. Thousands of dogs are being abandoned. It's just sick. But there's so many good podcasters coming up. Please support them, because we try to be good. We're not perfect people. We have problems. We have issues. We're not perfect all the time, but we really do try to be positive and try to be good and call out nonsense and call out, so the victims can get justice, because I don't like the way things are going, and I wanted to go back when I was a kid, and you could get help from your neighbor, and you didn't have to worry about locking your door. Well, that'll never change, but
you felt safe in your community.
Yeah,
and that was wonderful.
And you didn't care if someone had pink hair or purple hair. Do your thing. I'm doing mine. And that's what it is.
Yeah, they're not bothering you.
Yeah, we've become so judgy. Let's be cool with each other. But I know Just Nate is a great station. There's Sam's, a real unique station. He's called Sam So One, I think it is. He goes around to restaurants that have great food that are struggling, that no one's going to, and he'll go eat there. And he's got such a following that for weeks to months, it changes their lives because they're packed. Those are the kind people that I love that are helping, and it's refreshing to see what's happening in the podcast world.
Yeah, it does make me feel good when the more popular, like
Yeah.
I said, more well-known, like you have Nancy Grace. Megyn Kelly actually did a whole video, like a whole episode, saying thank God for these podcasters. She said, thank God these people are going out there and doing this work. So I always say Ashley Banfield, all those people, I think it's great that they are coming forward and saying, no, we want them to keep doing it. Because again, stories tend to go away as time goes on when there's no updates. I mean, there were so many stories we've talked about, so many stories that we followed, true crime stories that were never solved, and now nobody talks about them.
Yeah, and most podcasters, because let's face it, a lot of these people that are saying good job, they're forced or pressured to not tell the truth, to be liars. And there's some stations that have had to pay huge fines because they lied, where I think podcasters really genuinely have a passion for it. We're not getting rich off this. We're sure not making gobs of money. Some are, but they've earned it. They've gone years doing this.
And they have such a huge
and they've worked their butts off, and they pay a lot of money out of their own pocket, but a lot of them are honest, and they do a best. So, give them a break a little bit. I've seen some hate mail with some of these guys, just silly stuff where people are just vile, and these guys are working their butts off.
They go into the comment sections and just troll them. And again, when you're that big, and they're 100,000 followers, they get millions of views, some of them. So of course you're going to get negativity, But again, some of them really go after them, and all they're out there doing is trying to help. So again, I think that we need more positivity, less negativity.
Yep. And that's what we like. Yeah. And I'm telling you, some of you guys we talk to a lot. Thank you to the I don't like to name drop. It's hard to market yourself. That's our hardest part. Now, some people just love, I'm the greatest thing, and you must love me and all that stuff. We're not that way. It's hard to say we did this or we did that because we don't want to be bragging, but to have national publications watching our lives or giving us messages or having big, huge, people on air on ABC and NBC and all the news stations, Fox and CNN and all that, watching our live or giving us feedback saying you guys were great or something.
Following us is
It's
always
just
surprising when you
so
see it.
thank you
Wow.
all for doing that. And I mean, I don't even think you know how humbled we are. It's great. But when we see who's listened or watched the show, we're like, oh my gosh. So it's great. And it's all because of you guys listening to us. It really
Thank you
helps.
so much.
We're growing. We're getting bigger. More people are reaching out to us. We have a lot more collaborations that we've been asked to do. And also, we are on BF Live, Bobby BF Live. We are going to do a monthly show for him, and we've been on off and on, and he's asked us to come on monthly, and we said, sure, we will.
We do a fun segment like celebrity news.
Yeah, about an hour.
What we talk about, what we've been up to, what interviews we've done, what we've been covering.
And celebrity and,
it's fun.
The stuff that's going on, any
trending news,
pop culture.
It's a fun show, and we're one of the segments.
Yeah, it's really fun, and we're very grateful. There's a couple others that have asked us to do their shows, but we're trying to, not that we're big deals, but I mean we're trying to not spread ourselves thin.
You can't do everything.
Yeah.
And it's hard because we love to do everything, but it's really hard.
Plus, we got some personal stuff we're hanging on to, so we have to do. So, but God, we do appreciate it, and we do check all the DMs. We get a lot of DMs. I probably get 15 to 20 a day of what about this? What about that? Some of you are shy and you don't like to come on, and we try to keep it very cool. Some said they're a little worried about people commenting on their comments, and I get that. It's a lot of bullies, and I get that, but we try to keep those comments out and try, even if we disagree with you or we think you're dead wrong, as long as you're cool with us, we're cool with you.
Be respectful. Yeah. That's fine.
But you guys, it's going to be fun. Next Thursday, don't miss our segment at 5 o'clock. Florence and I are going to be back Monday and Tuesday. From now on, and someone gave me a good thing, we are going to be putting up our schedule on Mondays. Not that we're a monstrous deal, but we're going to put up our schedule, and so some of you could plan it. We've been having problems with some of the programs, but I think we've gotten everything settled away finally. And we're going to, so Monday and Tuesday, we're going to be doing it regular. I think we're going to try it at 4 to see how it goes. The 5s have been good. But let's try it at 4. Those seems to be a good time for everyone. If there's a time if that's a bad time, let us know. If enough people say that, we'll change, but we'll do it at 4. And then Wednesday, we really appreciate our NFL. We got a couple guests coming on, draft experts. So at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, and make sure that you, with Colette and I, we're really excited about Colette's future. He's a great reporter, and he's covered a lot of sports. We're already beaming for the World Cup. We got some things in the realm. We're going to do some lives from the World Cup. So we got a lot of exciting things going on and a lot of great guests. So we really appreciate it. We've reached out to some people that are not in the Arizona Sheriffs, but I actually found a guy that used to work for them, and we are going to try to get some people close. Florence always gets scared when I get these things, but we're going to try to get some people that are close, that are in the know, and see if we can't get down to the bottom of what's going on. I'm even going to reach out to some at A&E because I want to know about this reality show. I think it's freaking crazy that he's doing it, but class ain't a thing anymore. People just do their thing, and blows me away. Biggest story in years, and they're out doing reality shows.
We'll again keep you updated because we're following this story every day. Every day I'm following.
If something's break, Florence and I will come on, do a quick live, and we'll let you guys know because we have our stuff on. We're watching everything.
Watching it all
the
day.
news, the main news, the regular, and TMZ. So
yes, definitely TMZ because they're always breaking stories about this. So we'll be back on Monday, and we want to thank everybody so much for joining us this week on all our different shows, and we love the support, and you guys are amazing. So again, thank you so much, and we hope everybody has a great night.
Thank you. Take care, guys, and have a great weekend, and keep peace in the streets out there. Be safe.